Sie hören Sport und Musik.
Das Spiel ist aus! Deutschland ist Weltmeister!
In a world where fans fight over whether to call it football, or soccer, two German men defy the odds and call it Fußball. Bringing you inside the German-American football experience. And now, here are your hosts, the Schnitzel Boys.
Yeah! Yeah! We got July 11th, baby. It's the live July 11th edition of the Schnitzel Boys.
That's right.
In the heat of the MLS season, in the heat of the silly season, we got all sorts of stuff to talk about. Bjorn, how you doing?
That was a crazy MLS weekend we had this weekend. And I mean,
so many things to talk about. So many things.
On
and off the field.
It was crazy. I had so many tabs open on my browser. It took me a second to find you.
So many articles, so many hot articles.
So many. Well, the various.
So I want to start today's podcast by talking about the status of the Schnitzel Boys. No,
no.
The Schnitzel Boys. No. You know, we're big. Okay, we're big. We're in media. We're around. Do you know what I did this weekend, Bjorn?
Tell me. Oh, you were in a commercial.
I filmed a commercial for the World Cup for Fox Sports.
That is amazing.
That's right. And I'm telling you.
Tell us everything.
Because I'm a Schnitzel boy. You know what I mean? The status. Now, I no, not at all. I'm just pretending here on the podcast. Okay. I'm just trying. I'm in Hollywood. For those of you that don't know what Hollywood's like, Hollywood is where you round yourself up. Hollywood's where you sell yourself as an illusion of something that you're really not. And the illusion I was selling is that I am an in-demand, hot American soccer media property because I'm in the Schnitzel Boys, yo.
That's right.
What really happened? I'm not going to talk too much about it because I'm sure the people who made the commercial don't want us talking about it because usually you sign what's called an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. I signed no such thing. I took photos. I had a great time. You know, you're not supposed to do that, but screw it. No one was stopping me, so I was doing it. Okay. So over the weekend, I filmed a Fox Sports World Cup promo for the World Cup, starring a very famous person, and I won't share his name, simply because I don't think there's rules against it, but I don't want to spoil the fun. Just know that a very famous TV star, who's probably one of the biggest TV stars of the last 10, 15 years, plays the role of Santa Claus.
Of course, now all we can think about, myself included, is who this person might be. But okay.
I know, that's why
Santa Claus.
So I'm teasing it. So think to yourself, what were the two biggest TV shows about 10 years ago, give or take? And then who was the star of one of those? And that person plays Santa Claus. Anyway, the whole point
Bryan
is that
Cranston.
You're very close. That's on the right lines. I am offering it. Like that's who I would have guessed. But you have to think to yourself, who is the other Bryan Cranston of that time? But no more. Because no more. Unless you have a really good guess. So I won't confirm or deny. Anyway, this person plays Santa Claus, and he gets. I'm kind of ruining the whole point of the show, but it's essentially because of Wintertime World Cup. They have this Christmas promo, and then it cuts to a bunch of fans saying, "I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win," because believe is the theme here. Because it's wintertime and Christmas time. Christmas time is about belief. So I'm part of the American Outlaws LA chapter. I'm part of the Los Angeles American Outlaws chapter. They reached out to us to come by and help them. Exactly. They reached out to us to come and help all the extras with the chants and stuff. And so there's a lot of extras there in this weird fake USA gear. And then we brought our own USA gear to be a front and center and lead the chants and things like that. And it was just a lot of fun to meet a bunch of other soccer fans. A lot of them are SAG actors like me because it's the LA chapter of the American Outlaws. So it's like meet a bunch of US soccer fans, but we're all actors. So it was kind of fun to like overlap that world a little bit. And we had a great time. We had a really great time. And I hopefully got some decent camera time. I walk right into the camera yelling, "I believe that we will win." So I'm hoping that'll make its way to the final cut. And hopefully for our Schnitzel fans out there, especially Tom and Daniel, when you watch the World Cup, your boy Stefan Schnitzel, you're going to get to see him every game. You know what I mean?
So you really are... well, I guess we've established this previously. You are the U.S. If the U.S. were playing Germany in the final, you would root for the U.S. We would be on opposite ends.
No. I mean, for fun, sure. For the podcast, sure. But the reality is, no, I'd root for nobody. It's like a win-win for me. Especially, like
root for nobody.
My scenario is this. If USA and Germany played in the World Cup final and Germany won, it'd be great for Germany because they won another World Cup, but it'd be great for the U.S. because they made it to the final and they toe-to-toe with Germany. So it's kind of a win-win. If the U.S. wins, I'd be very happy, of course. And Germany losing the final, they've done that before. I think they've lost more finals than they've won, or at least it's 50-50 or something.
That's true.
It's 4-4, I think, right? Isn't it 4-4 or something? Let's see. The Germans have been in the finals 54 where they won. 66 they lost.
66 they lost. 74 they won.
That they won.
82 we lost, and 86 we lost.
So we lost 86. 1990 we won.
90 we won. 94, 98 we didn't get anywhere.
And then 02 we lost.
We lost the final.
And then 2014 we won.
6, 10, 14. Yeah.
So 4 wins, 4 losses for the Germany.
All right.
In the finals.
So 8 fucking World Cup finals is really the number to focus on. I mean, come on.
I don't think anybody else has been in that many finals. I mean,
I think
Brazil.
That's true, yeah.
Brazil won it 5 times. That's true. But how many World Cup finals they lost? They lost 1950 against Uruguay in the Maracanazo. I think it was called a Maracanazo. I'm trying to think what other World Cup finals have they lost? That was
well,
it,
I can tell you.
98. They lost to
France. I can tell you a semifinal that they lost.
Oh yeah. 7-1, 7-1, baby. 7-1, baby. Yeah. But I was in Brazil during the 2002 World Cup final, and that was a hard game to watch because Germany had a really rough game. They just couldn't hold the ball. Oliver Kahn kept giving it back to Brazil, and Brazil was just way more clinical.
was suspended. He was really by far the best player of that team.
Yeah. Well, Oliver Kahn was the best player.
That was kind of, field play. And Oliver Kahn had an off day.
Yeah.
And, that was kind of... the shock was that the German team made it that far that year.
Same with the Brazilians. It was just a weird tournament all around. I'm very curious if Qatar will have
this could
the
be
same
just
vibes.
as weird. This could be just as odd, yeah.
Which means the U.S. will make the final, baby! I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. The other chant was, what was it? It was, chants are simple. That's a whole other talk about the chants. And the guy who ran the chants is like, we have to keep them simple, blah, blah. It was like, USA, 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 USA. That's to keep it simple. You know what I want? I want us out there singing Country Roads, Take Me Home. You know what I mean? I want it to be a late night in Qatar.
But
you're all the way across the world.
Right? This is a promo. You're going to hear 5 seconds of it.
I'm talking about in real life. I'm talking about at the World Cup, at the stadiums, at the U.S. teams. Okay. I want it in Qatar, all the way across the world.
Complicated chants. You would like
very complicated chants. I want us to be rehearsed.
People have to
I
memorize.
want it to be choral.
Like they did. They did in the early NYCFC days. People would hand. This was a cringy moment in my early fandom. People would hand out these cheat sheets for chants, and it's like. It's not that hard. I mean, when I started going to Bundesliga games regularly, it's not like I felt like I needed to take a class or whatever.
Right.
You just kind of, you kind of.
They know it. You just follow.
As you go, you kind of follow it, and eventually you figure. They had this whole sheet that they handed out, and my favorite one of them that was also printed out was like N-Y-C, comma.
N-Y-C. Wait a minute, so it was just N.
NYC. And I was like, you don't need to write that out. Nobody needs to.
Did everyone get your laminated? Yeah.
It's gonna be like, whoa, wait, what was that from the Y?
Yeah, and wait, and what C? And what C?
And the middle one.
What does the C stand for? What does the C stand for? Yeah.
So, yeah, that was pretty dumb.
What's a Bochum chant you remember? Do you remember any of them?
Well, in Bochum, they have that Grönemeyer song, that they like to sing.
What is it?
What?
What's Grönemeyer?
Wait, whoa.
Teach me, Bjorn. What's Grönemeyer?
Do you know who Herbert Grönemeyer is?
No, I don't.
Oh, man. Wow, all right. I guess this is...
You're more German than me, okay? I'm going to Google it right now.
Talk about this MLS weekend next week. We'll have to catch you up on
I'm Googling right now. Okay, he's a musician.
Herbert Arto. Originally, please.
Can I say his full name? Can I say his full name?
I don't know. Does he have a middle name?
Herbert Arto Wiglaf Clamor Grönemeyer.
Wow. All right. He was an actor. He came to fame being in Das Boot. You know about that, right? The show.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia article. When you're saying the exact same thing.
Well, I can just tell you. He was.
No, I'm sorry. Please go. I've never seen Das Boot, by the way.
Oh, you should see it. It's good.
I know. I'm a bad German.
Yeah, it launched a bunch of careers. Jürgen Prochnow comes to mind, and Herbert Grönemeyer. And he was an actor initially, and he was from the area. He had a job. He was working at the Schauspielhaus, the local theater in Bochum for a while. And then also was kind of a musician on the side, and then became like literally the most successful German pop artist of all time, I think.
Is he the guy? There's a guy who like says long stories in his songs. Like there's like a guy. My mom loves him. He has a guitar and there's like a song, Papa or something playing in the background, and he says, "Let me tell you a story" or something. It's sort of like long ass stories are in his songs. Is that a different guy?
It doesn't sound like him. No, I mean he's just more. He's like a pop. He's like a singer songwriter, but like on the pop rocky kind of.
We have technology here. You keep talking. I'm going to figure this out.
And one of his, I think it was the first album that really was successful was called Bochum, was called Herbert Grönemeyer 4630, which was the zip code at the time, Bochum. And it had a song named Bochum in it.
All right, hold on. I'm figuring this out. Check this out.
What are you figuring out? You're gonna
check out this technology.
We're gonna play the song, and then we're gonna get banned from YouTube for copyright.
No, we're not. They don't care about German songs.
There you go.
Let's just hear a little bit of it.
Well, you should have him do it at the stadium if you're gonna do that. If you're gonna play a video.
No, does it?
No. There's a.
That's not it. Let me find.
No, this is the song. But if you're gonna play a video, you should say.
Let me hear
live at Ruhrstadion.
Yeah, im Stadion.
There you go.
Here we go.
See, he's a little older now, but.
Oh, there we go. But you see, this is what I'm talking about. This is not simple. This is not Bochum. Like they're singing a full song. We could do that too.
But I think this stands out. Like no team in the world has a better song. I think
Minnesota
is our claim to fame.
Minnesota United sings Wonderwall.
Wonderwall, but that's not their song.
I know, but
this song is specific. Wonderwall. Right. Wonderwall's not about Minnesota. unless
you're right. Yeah, it's not. This is for 10 seconds. It's nice.
I mean, this gives me chills right here.
Yeah, this is nice. Oh, that's nice.
And the team is actually mentioned in the song.
Oh, that's perfect.
If you fast forward, then you'll get to that point. Well, here's the chorus. All right.
VfL Bochum, immer verliert, immer verliert, immer verliert.
This is inappropriate. This mockery in the middle of this this chill-inducing moment. Here it comes. Hold on. Oh, we're making fun of Düsseldorf and how posh it is.
Nice, yeah, that's funny.
Song. That's good.
That I know.
Oh, the last verse is the one that has the VfL in it, and people are going nuts. No, go back. Oh, hold on. Yeah, that's the spot. Sax solo. We're awkwardly bouncing our way through the saxophone solo.
Very 80s.
But here we go.
Nice. All right, nice. It's not.
So that is
for the podcast listeners. Yeah,
that's that is the song they sing before every game. He's not there usually. But
that's very cool though. But I'm saying people can handle full songs. Wonderwall, this one. U.S. Soccer has songs. I think Weezer is a huge U.S. Soccer fan. I think they reference sometimes in their song. Weezer should write a song for U.S. Soccer. You know, and when that everyone yelling "foul" reminds me of the Red Bulls. We always yell "red" and everything. So it's like when we sing the national anthem, it's always like "red."
That is stupid though.
No, it's really cool, actually.
No,
it's not stupid. It's
dumb.
really cool. Because it's everywhere. And when I was at the LAFC Red Bull game, in the one section, you heard everyone yell, "Red!" during the national anthem. It's like, hell yeah, yo. That's my fan. That's family right there. Family. Just like Vin Diesel says.
It is stupid.
We ain't friends. We family. Or whatever line he says in Fast and Furious. No, but that's cool. What I want is I want the U.S. to... When USA plays England on Black Friday, I want... You know how everyone comes out to Seven Nation Army? Which is Jack White. I think that's an American song. But I want the U.S. to come out to Free Bird, the beginning of the solo, them coming out to the no, you know, that Free Bird solo, and then in the middle of the game in Qatar, late at night, you're in the halfway across the world. I want all the U.S. fans to start singing. Take me home, the place where I have grown. However the words go. I don't know. I have to learn the words real quick.
You're promoting the song that you don't even know the words to.
Country roads, take me home. West Virginia, something bad valley. You know the word. I'll have to Google it ahead of time. Would that be so cool? That'd be so powerful. We as fans can offer that. So that's just my little fan request in a perfect world, you know.
Okay.
But no, that's cool with the Bochum thing. They have an original song. They love to make fun of Düsseldorf. So Bochum is a part of the German Rust Belt. Very industrial, engineering focused, coal mines, that kind of stuff. And Düsseldorf is like the fashion capital of Germany. It's all about what you look like, how you're dressed, all that kind of stuff. It's like the exact opposite mentality of sort of the Ruhrgebiet. Which is funny because whenever I went to Düsseldorf, I'm like, oh, I like Düsseldorf. And now I live in Hollywood, so I'm a very Düsseldorf guy.
My brother lives in Düsseldorf. It's nice. It's also nice. I'm not. But yeah, I mean, the Bochum ethos is, you know, keeping it real. And,
keeping it real, yo. Yeah, get to those mines at 6 a.m., do your job, and then that's that. Nothing fancy, you know.
Get to those mines, people.
Let's go.
What are you doing at the soccer game? You need to get back to the mine.
What are you doing? Well, my family, little family history, they all worked in steel, so they were part of the steel mills over there.
Well, steel mills actually still exist in the Ruhrgebiet. The mines are all closed.
Right, and the steel mills are on their last legs too. I'm surprised.
There's a few that still, a few
really?
plants that still exist. Yeah.
Oh, good for them. Good for them. Keep on milling, boys. Steel is the backbone of our country.
Well, you have some work to do in terms of watching Das Boot and listening to a bunch of Grönemeyer records.
Yeah,
not bad. Not bad stuff.
No, I know this is why I love you as a co-host. You can feel like we have all this knowledge that does not overlap. So it's always a lesson for me every week, and I love it. It's always a lesson for me. And you help me become a better German, help me get in touch with my roots. So I appreciate that. This
is what it's all about.
And your kids aren't going to care, so you can tell me. I'll be the one who cares.
They really won't. Yeah, it's
I'll care. You can tell me. I'll care.
Amazing.
I'll be there. Okay, cool. So we got World Cup commercial. We got the Bochum chants. We got fandom. So we got all sorts of. We got a little. Let's want to do a little bit of Germany stuff and then go straight in MLS. What are you thinking?
Well, other than the German ladies, what is there to talk about? We have
Jordan Pefok.
Right, we keep forgetting. Right. That's been going on for a few weeks now. And yeah, that's definitely been on my mind every time after each show. It's like, oh, Jordan Pefok.
To Union Berlin.
He's going to Union Berlin. But in the end, really, there's not that much to say about it. Oh.
No, it's just I want to touch on transfers, two main ones. One is Jordan Pefok is going to Union Berlin. Good for Pefok. This is going to be very interesting because you love the Swiss League. You always rate it very highly. You're a big fan of the Swiss League. I do not. I think it's poor. It's lesser than MLS. Yeah, I know. Sarcasm. But he did great in Switzerland. And Union Berlin, German clubs, small, mid-level clubs. Union Berlin is very much a small club punching above their weight. They go in the bargain bin to find a goal scorer.
Well, they had some money. They had some money because they sold their guy to Forest, right? Nottingham Forest.
Oh, I know. They also sold Max Kruse for a few bucks too. So they had some shekels and they spent it on Jordan Pefok. But it's a small deal. I think it's $2 million.
Some of it. Yeah.
Or no, I'm thinking of Luca De La Torre. I don't know what the Jordan Pefok deal was. But probably something like that. Couldn't be more than a couple $1 million. I don't think it's that much, unless he was even signed on a free. I don't know the numbers, so don't quote me on that. However, Jordan Pefok scored the Bundesliga, so he's been a great goal scorer, but he's been kind of ignored by the U.S. He's played a few times, hasn't really shown up, so it does make sense.
Can't even figure out what his name is. Is it Sibachu? Is it Pefok?
Is it Pefok? I mean, his thing is that kitty cat.
Right, yeah, the cat's here. The cat's hanging out.
Well, give it some screen time. I always forget her name. Is it Nella? Bella?
It's Nanette.
Nanette. Who's the mother? Nanette. No, Nanette, which I think is a show. But anyway, Jordan Pefok going to the Bundesliga, and if he does well in the Bundesliga, it makes you think, like, should we have given him more of a chance with the national team? Because as of right now, I don't even think he's going to the World Cup. Like, I don't think he's going to the World Cup.
He had
roster.
a chance. He had a few chances.
He had one, but and I thought he did okay. Like, his first big chance against Honduras, he scored. Then he had two chances after that we did poorly. However, in his defense, there's a certain style of play that's not fitting him. Like, he's a Knipse. He's a scrappy finisher up top. He's not a guy who runs the ball up down the field and like everybody else, like a Jesus.
Well, he
Ferreira
also doesn't really defend well. That's another problem. Yes,
and he did miss some chances. I'm not. He did get a chance. He did lose a spot.
If you're However, especially in the but I think this is not a Berhalter thing. This is true. This is true for just modern, quote unquote, modern soccer in general. It's like if you're not defending well, even as a striker, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. You have to really score a lot of goals because it's like if off the ball you're always playing a man down, so that's you got to make up for that.
Yeah.
Or if you're playing in the Swiss league, I guess it's easier then it doesn't matter. But.
Well, either or. I'm very curious how he'll do. If he'll play, if he'll score.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited.
Or if like a Ricardo Pepi, he'll sort of like not finish it and sort of wallow around on the roster somewhere. And we'll see. It's a big step for him because the Bundesliga is the big leagues and. Good for him. Good on Jordan Pefok. The other piece of U.S. transfer news is Luca De La Torre is going to Spain, going to Celta Vigo, and I think that's a great move for him. He's Spanish on his father's side, and he plays with a great Spanish flair, like the way he moves his ball. He's very confident. I love the way he plays, and I hope he does really well in La Liga. I think he's a great player, and he's also moved to the big leagues. He played in the Dutch Eredivisie for a season, did okay. His club was relegated, and he failed upwards, I guess. He made his way over to La Liga, with Celta Vigo, which was once upon a time one of Spain's bigger clubs. Now I don't know. I think they hop up and back and forth. I think they've been the second division recently. My knowledge of the Spanish league is a little out of date,
but now they are.
Now,
yeah, and no, I like him, Luca Del Toro, and Keaton Parks has a blood clot again in his leg, sadly, and this seems to be out for the rest of this year again. And I guess this has happened now 2 years in a row, so this kind of puts a larger question mark on his career, perhaps. So anyway, he is not going to take that spot, even though a lot of people were lobbying on Twitter for him to get some time with the national team. Looks like because they play the same position, the De La Torre, Yunus Musa, and before Musa and De La Torre emerged, I was definitely promoting Keaton Parks as a potential player for the national team because he has that skill that nobody had. But Musa and De La Torre fit that same kind of profile somewhat, and so that's why he came to mind. But he doesn't look like he has any chance.
Well, that's a shame because that's such a weird affliction to have.
Yeah. I know,
and
it's very odd, and it seemed like it was like a one-time thing, and then he's back. We saw him after the game on Saturday. He was walking with his I think former fiance, now wife, outside of the stadium, and we wished him a good recovery. So he seemed like he's walking around in good spirits, but yeah, it's too bad.
That must be really frustrating for him, but hopefully it can be solved, or hopefully it doesn't become a chronic issue. So I wish you the best of luck to the Parks husband and wife here from the Schnitzel boys. The UEFA Euro women's tournament's happening right now, and there's England just won 9-0, I think. Germany beat Denmark 4-0.
Yeah.
So there's some lopsided scoring going on. Germany is playing someone tomorrow. Who are they playing tomorrow? Germany's playing someone
is it
tomorrow.
Spain or is it?
Oh yeah, it's Spain. Germany's playing Spain tomorrow. I will try to watch that game. Good on you. The German women is a good team. They are one of the world's best women's teams, but they don't get the support they deserve from home. Hopefully that's changing and improving. The support for women's soccer in the U.S. is pretty second to none. It's hard outside the United States.
Although people are, it looks like, especially for the England games, people were showing up.
That's good.
I mean, there is definitely a lot happening to the women's game. I think even internationally, I think there was a Champions League final that was sold out maybe somewhere in
Lyon versus Barcelona, the two big teams.
Yeah. So people are, it's growing. It's definitely growing. And
Angel City FC here in New York is a thing. I mean, people want to go to the games. Yeah, the women's Los Angeles team. People want to go to the games. Jerseys are around. I go to picnics and barbecues, and people wear the jerseys, and they go to the games, and they're all about it. So it's cool.
You're a man looking for love. You should definitely lean into.
We shouldn't. Come on, we're better than. We shouldn't fetishize women's soccer. Come on now. And 100%, I will go there.
Well,
I'll print out a bunch of cards with my number.
It's a way to meet people. I'm not suggesting anything. Anything deceitful or or manipulative in any way? No.
Kristen Press, how you doing? But anyway, you're injured for a year. You have a lot of free time. Care to meet me for dinner, perhaps? So I was in the front row of the Galaxy Montreal game.
I wasn't suggesting you should date the players. I thought that.
Oh, I thought you were, because I was like, sure. Oh, you mean someone at the stadium? Yeah. So when I was at Galaxy Montreal, there was two ladies on the field. One was like an audience services coordinator or something, and the other was the she carried bags of water. I don't know what she is. Equipment assistant or something, or equipment director. I don't know. But they were both so nice looking. I was just looking at him, and I was just like, should I lean over and try to say hi or something like that? Like, they're both working and stuff, but like, I was like, I should have cards with my number on it. I'd just be like, "Hey, can I take you out to dinner sometime?" Stefan the Love Monster, which would have been ridiculous because I think that'd be a nice meet cute.
If you have pre-printed cards, right. that always makes a great impression. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? Pre-printed.
Yeah. I know. It's like, how many of these do you give out? No, but I was this close to like writing my number on a piece of paper and be like, "Hey, you're doing great. Like, call me sometime." You know what I mean? Like, because I'm always ready for a good story, and I like to yes and life. I just thought that would be crazy, but I ended up not doing it. But
what I guess, we are thinking in along different lines. I was just thinking that probably the male to female ratio at an Angel City game is more favorable, perhaps, than
you're right
at your average men's soccer game. That's
although what I will say is I go to LA Galaxy and LAFC games. The amount of lovely ladies that show up in full gear and are fans is lovely. It's like, hey, the female fandom out here in LA is pretty dang good.
All right.
I don't remember that really a lot in New York. That's true. I mean, in Red Bulls sometimes. I don't know what's like in NYCFC. But definitely here, there's a lot of lovely ladies that are out and they got their jerseys on and their face paint and they're cheering. They love the team. So good on them. But no, you're right. That's actually a really good idea. I should go to Angel City FC game and sit in a section where I'm the only guy and see if anyone wants to talk back to me. We'll see.
Just sort of sit in the corner and wait for people to just flock to you.
Yeah, sit and wait. Hand out my cards. I'm just a Schnitzel boy looking for love. Come on now. I'm looking for a special someone that shares my same interests. So if you have anyone in mind, email us at schnitzelboyspod@gmail.com. But anyway, so good on. That's the UEFA Women's Euro thing. Any last stuff with Europe? I mean, there's, I guess, some stuff. I don't know. There's all sorts of stuff. It's a silly season.
Some stuff.
Silly season. People are coming and going. Is Ronaldo going to leave Man United? Is he not going to leave Man United? That kind of
thing. Who cares? Who cares about Ronaldo?
True.
Not me.
I agree. Who cares about Luis Suarez? Where's he going to end up?
What's happening with him?
He's a public agent. He's a free agent. And rumors are he's making his way to MLS somewhere, maybe Miami, maybe as part of this new DC United thing. Should we start with DC United?
Oh, let's hear it.
So, Philadelphia beat DC United 7-0 over the weekend. You know that, Bjorn?
Uh-huh.
It was 5-0 by the half. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was worse than the Germany-Brazil 7-1. They just destroyed them. And I believe the head coach lost his job right after that, who was very short-lived because they're about to get their third head coach this season, I believe. And the third head coach is Wayne Rooney, which is going to be extra bonkers. And I love it.
Is that happening? This is real? Or
it says here, I'm on ESPN.com, it says sources, Wayne Rooney to join DC United. Right after the article, it says sources, Landon Donovan in line for the Quakes job. I would love for Landon Donovan and Wayne Rooney to be on the sidelines at each other. I think that'd be great. So Wayne Rooney came to MLS as a DP. I thought he had a great first year. He did that great goal where he ran off the field, tackled the guy.
Yeah. Will Johnson.
Pass.
Oh, wonderful.
Just great goal. I think he scored a goal from halfway line once when he beat the keeper off his line. Wayne Rooney was a freaking beat. He was having a great time, loving his soccer again. You could tell England just weighed him down. He was loving his soccer. He was playing again. Then, very quickly, he just dropped everything and then moved back to England kind of suddenly, right? Like he left 2 years early and went to Derby County in England to be an assistant coach.
Word on the street was his wife did not enjoy Washington, D.C., which, I mean, Washington, D.C. kind of sucks.
Yeah, Georgetown's nice, but it is kind of sterile. However, but like he's from Manchester or Everton. I guess Liverpool's a much nicer city, I would say. I mean, it's subjective, but it's a much nicer city. But the other thing, if you want to get tabloidy, is this tabloid journalist, like, there's like a photo play-by-play of Wayne Rooney, like, fooling around with another lady in Vancouver. You didn't know? You don't remember that? And then he moved kind of shortly after that. Oh. So I think, I mean, my theory is his wife is like, we need to get you out of this place.
Put her foot down.
Yeah. It's like, we need to get the hell out of here. So they left. That's just my theory. So it's funny that he just picked up. It's just interesting to see him going back again. I'm like, okay, I guess he liked it. I don't know. And if she didn't like DC the first time, what's going to make her like DC the second time?
Maybe the Vancouver lady texted him back.
All I know is that I'd be into it. I'd be very into that because I just love That's never a DP has never come and gone. Oh, you know what? That's not true. Thierry Henry did that, didn't he? Thierry Henry was a DP player, and then he came back as a coach, and it didn't go well. But I like the idea of like big players.
It went fine, except then once COVID happened, he was like, "Yeah, fuck this, I'm out."
Oh, I thought he left because of bad results.
No, I think it was the COVID.
Oh, okay.
It was like, oh, traveling to Europe's going to be hard. All right, that's out.
Well, okay. Well, then we'll see that maybe the Wayne Rooney trip will do well. He knows the league. He's not new to it. He has been coaching. I guess he wants to get into coaching. And, there aren't a lot of opportunities for English coaches in England, honestly. So just like following his friend Phil Neville and coaching here in the States. So I'm all about it. How do you feel about the Wayne Rooney DC United situation?
I mean, yeah, sure. I was saying earlier or before we went on, I was saying that one of my NYCFC group chats, somebody was saying he should come to NYCFC to coach. And I don't know, I like Wayne Rooney. I don't know. We'll see how he does. I think DC has nowhere to go but up. I think at this point,
right.
I think it probably can't get much worse. So we'll see.
Where are they in the standings right now? I think they're second to last or something. No, maybe not that bad. Where are they?
Well, they're a little ahead of the Chicago-Toronto situation, but not much.
No, they're underneath Toronto. They're only ahead of Chicago. Toronto, but their PPG is the same.
Oh,
Toronto
so yeah, they're right in there. They're right in there with the bad teams.
Yeah, so they're on the bottom. They might get relegated if they don't watch out. Hey-oh. So that then Philly is trucking along. Philly
relegated to MLS Next Pro.
Philly is trucking along. They got a great 7-0 win to put themselves close to the top of the East. New York, the two New York teams in Philly are having a great time hanging out up top. And NYCFC with a game in hand, with 2 games in hand. Philly with 1 game in hand, and New York at 20.
We will not last because we no longer defend.
Well, okay, so let's talk. So that was Philly.
Yeah, what do you want to talk
about?
Doing great. Where do you want to? There's so many crazy things happened.
Bruce
this
Arena
weekend.
Loves Yankee Stadium. Bruce Arena loves Yankee Stadium. He's from New York. He grew up as a big Yankees fan. He hates playing soccer at Yankee Stadium. He thought the field was a joke. He especially playing near the dirt mound, and it's not suitable for soccer. He thought the officiating in that game was also ridiculous, which I would agree with him, by the way. And NYCFC, those are fake tears. Those are crocodile tears.
Oh, poor Bruce.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Bruce.
Were you at? You were at that game, right? Were you at the game?
I was at the game. I had a live look. Well, first of all, before we get to the nuance, I will have many things to say that are nuanced and reasoned, and as I like to see both sides. But give me a fucking break. Bruce Arena complaining about a game where they were totally dominated. We gave up. The NYCFC got 3 penalties, which I guess that's never happened before in an MLS game. 3. Well, two of
I will
which
say I watched the
2 of which were 100% legit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
One was definitely. I think one was definitely like way too soft for me. I imagine
the second one is the questionable one, and Tati missed that one. That one anyway. Andrew Farrell. Listen, Andrew Farrell, he's a veteran player,
right?
He's a leader of the team. I guess he's a anyway. Yeah. He was behind our wingers the entire game. He got smoked repeatedly, and he was in emergency mode. I mean, the first penalty, it's comical, actually.
Right.
Like he just kind of, and then immediately sort of wags his finger after like doing the most obvious foul in the history of soccer. So he was cruising. He was cruising for that red card, and
he was cruising for a bruising. So he really, I don't think has anything to complain about. Matt Polster was tweeting
that supposedly when you look at one goal on Yankee Stadium's field and then you turn around 180 degrees, the other goal is not lined up with that is patently absurd to say that.
I don't know. Maybe he
doesn't know what 180 degrees are. I don't know. Like, there was just a lot of nonsense coming from.
Well, good on you for defending that stadium. Good on you, because no one else is.
Listen, I think the stadium is what it is. There was an article I was quoted. We never talked about this. I was quoted in an article in the Guardian promoting that was pro Yankee Stadium.
I didn't know that. Oh wow!
I failed to.
Did it say from the?
Did it say
from the Schnitzel Boys podcast?
No attribution. But
don't worry. When this commercial airs,
way too much is made out of Yankee Stadium. People love to, and I think people love to get riled up about it. It's not that. It's about the dimensions are similar to Craven Cottage and Fulham. It's not that. Right. It's not that different. It's regulation, and it looks weird on TV because they have that long. They use that. They have to shoot it from like way up. And so they have that long lens, so on TV it looks bad.
There is a way to solve that, by the way. Am I an idiot to think you can't build a temporary tower
they don't
next
have,
to the field?
They don't have the. Well, we'll see what happens when Apple takes over. But
right.
Anyway, I am. Yeah, it's like people like to, when the team was bad, it was because of the field. When the team is good, it's because of the field. It's like the field gets credit for everything, success or failure. It's not it's not that big a deal.
Can I guess what the quote was of the Guardian article? It probably went to, it said, quote, they hate us because they ain't us, unquote, from Bjorn Bellenbaum.
So you did read the article.
I know, but I just know, I'm a savant. So essentially, long story short, you're saying they hate us because they ain't us, all right? That's all.
So I just feel like there's way too much attention paid to this, and I think the reason is, if you watch it on TV, it does look bad.
Right.
When I was
the grass is a little weird.
It seems like they mostly fixed that. In the early days, they were like the pads, the grass like pads that cover the infield were not properly attached. Like you had people, you saw that a few times. Mm-hmm. It's been years since I've seen that. I think. Listen, New England plays on fucking turf. They should not talk about anybody else's stadium at all ever. Like that is a complete. You're disqualified from any kind of. And we went into their turf, into their home turf, literally in the playoffs when they were supposedly the most successful regular season team in the history of the league or whatever.
And they had 29 days off.
We beat them fair. They had too much time off. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. Right. And we beat them fair and square. They got lucky. They were lucky to make it to penalties. And anyway, I don't want to hear any of this. It's all.
Tell us how you really feel. The energy in New England is weird though, because I also heard a crazy report about some Josie Altidore drama off the field. Did you see this too?
Yeah. I heard about that too.
Apparently, he refused to train, and he sat his butt on the bench and even put his shoes on.
He didn't
because
want to warm
I think
up.
The trainer
didn't want to warm up. He didn't think he was coming in, or they weren't going to put him in.
Yeah, some diva nonsense. And Josie's supposed to be their main number 9. He's supposed to be their goal scorer. I mean, not their main. Adam Buxa is. What? But Buxa is on his way out.
Buxa's gone.
When did he leave? He left a couple weeks ago, right?
A few weeks ago.
Anyway,
but Gustavo Bo is still there. He's
but Josie's supposed to be there. Josie gets paid $3 million a year or whatever. He's supposed to be there.
Josie's done. No. He's sub.
If he has attitude,
how many games has he started for New England?
I know, but you know what I'm saying? He's playing this diva stuff. He's getting paid too much money. He needs to just play, man. He needs to get out there and play, But what that means to me is a locker room isn't healthy right now. And New England is bouncing off their best regular season ever, and they're not doing well. They're mid-table, but they are looking outside. They're 9th place right now. They're outside looking in. And they're more than than halfway done the season. So they can still make the way to the playoffs, of course, because the second half of the season is more important. But New England, they lost a couple of plays.
This is this thing again that I don't understand, that somehow there's more points in the second half of
the second half of the season is the season. Okay, if you start winning by playoffs, then you could win the cup. If you're called by the playoffs,
I think there's
you don't
a lot
win the
of
cup. Simple as that.
Anyway, all right. Yeah, I mean, I'm having now gotten.
They lost Matt Turner. They lost Tejan Buchanan. They lost Buxa. You know, they had all these great players leaving, and they're in a little bit of transitionary mode right now. And but the funny thing with the Bruce bitching, the players bitching, with Josie being a diva, that's not the clue. Those aren't clues to a healthy locker room right now. I think some energy is going on. Right,
despite all that, they could have stolen a point with 10 men. I mean, honestly, we even though this was a pretty dominant performance and we won 4-2 on paper, you'd say like, oh, everything's great, but we still did not. We gave up 2 pretty soft goals again. We haven't had this was the first win under Cushing, but we have not had anything near a shutout or any sniff of a shutout. And the defense is just oddly passive and error prone now all of a sudden. And it's kind of hard to, I'm still struggling to explain it other than just, I can't blame Cushing for everything, but that's definitely a thing. Offensively, it was a great performance. There was a lot of, I think the XG was just under 6 goals. Like Santi Rodriguez had 4 big chances and didn't score any, and it could have been worse offensively. But the defensive woes continue, and unless that gets worked out, we're not going anywhere.
So you have a couple games in hand. Like you are, if you win your next 2 games, you're top of the East. Yeah, but I think. Who are your next 2 games? Let's see here.
Well, we're playing in Dallas. In Dallas,
and then you got the Red Bulls on Sunday.
This is another thing to talk about. We got sanctioned. We're not.
That's right.
Allowed the full contingent because of the cup game. Yeah, there was definitely some. There was
because of the rowdy fans.
Yeah, but I did get a ticket. I got an email today. I did get a ticket, so I'm going to go.
But are you going in the fan section, or how are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay, so fans are going. It's just going to be, I think the allotment.
Fans are going,
right?
But it's a smaller number. I don't know how many. And
well, how does that work with the fans that start the fights? Do they get identified and banned, or how does that work?
I think so. Yeah, I think I can't say that I know. I know that there is always these. Yeah, there's always. Whenever there's an away game, and obviously for Red Bull Arena, they're the most people come there. For other places, it's usually a small group.
Right.
But there's always team officials there. There's always somebody watching, and so
got it. Okay.
So I'm sure, I don't know. I mean, they had a hard time. I don't think they ever found the person who set off the smoke bomb, which ironically happened right in front of me. But I honestly have no idea because I was actually watching the game.
Oh yeah, Bjorn. Oh, good move, ladies and gentlemen. It's Bjorn. Bjorn did it. Okay, he's pulling the old. I don't know who did it. I was watching the game. I have no idea. So Bjorn. Good thing for you, no one listens or watches us at all. So you're not. Even though we can admit the deepest, darkest secrets here, we're never going to get in trouble. So, thumbs up.
So that's why I was sharing details. Tell us who Santa Claus is then.
I was going to say. Well, you were very close with Bryan Cranston. Like who was the other big TV star during those days? That does a lot of comedy.
Bob Odenkirk.
No, that's a little ahead. You got to go back a little bit, but he's also a good shot for it. Like he was the biggest TV star like in the world, like 15 years ago, and he's done some movies.
Tim Allen?
No, that was 25 years ago. I'm talking 50 years ago. And I love Tim Allen. I would love for him to be a Santa Claus. It's not Tim Allen. So I mean, Bryan Cranston was your closest guess, and why would I say that? Why would I say Bryan Cranston was your closest guess? Do you think?
Because he was in a big TV show at the time,
right? And that TV show is one of 2 TV shows that made a certain network popular.
It was John Hamm, Don Draper?
I share nothing. I know nothing. I know nothing. I know nothing. I know nothing. I share nothing. Right. Anyway, moving on.
Doesn't strike me as a Santa Claus kind of guy. All right, interesting.
He was very attractive. And the commercial I filmed, not confirming or denying that this man was in the show, the commercial I filmed, he wasn't there because it was a wide shot, so they got a look-alike to be Santa Claus, and he looked just like Antonio Banderas. I thought it was Antonio Banderas for a while because he was just a really ruggedly handsome, attractive dude in Santa Claus outfit, and I was like, damn, it's a good-looking dude. But yeah, so
and
there
you gave him the card with the pre-printed card with your number on it.
Hey, give me a call, my friend. Don't I know I give thousands of these. It's like follow my Insta, follow my podcast.
But I still sincerely mean it. It's still
sincere. Just do me a favor. When you text me, can you tell me the name and the location that we met, just to help me with my memory and a picture, so I can remember? Mr. Love Connection with Stefan Schnitzel. Okay, cool. So now it's New York. New York Red Bulls had kind of a rough 1-1 game. Life in the New York Red Bull sphere is actually doing okay. We just don't have a number 9. Klimala is useless and Barlow is useless. So we were linked to this young Dutch striker, former Dutch international, who plays for Roda JC right now, who's scoring up a storm in the Eerste Divisie, the second division in Holland. Eerste probably means first, like Eerste.
Sure
but
does.
But just like in England, the second division is, for whatever reason, they call it the first division. So I don't know. And then the top flight is the Eredivisie, which I guess means elite division. What would Era mean? I used to think that meant first. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know. Honor
division. So the Eredivisie is the top flight, and the Eerste Divisie is the second division, which is frickin' confusing. But anyway, he's scoring up a storm in the second Dutch division, and he's linked to the Red Bulls. And I'm very curious, like players like that, on paper you think, but again, the Red Bulls are scouting pros, and all these obscure dudes that show up, like
the
sometimes
Red Bulls
they're total
are
flops.
Scouting pros?
Yeah, second to none, my friend. And they're just scouting networks, amazing. And they send obscure players and they just destroy, like Danny Royer. Like New York Red Bulls have always had all these great club guys. And there's a good chance that this Dutch guy could be one of those. You know, like scoring up a storm in the second division Holland doesn't scream success at MLS, because MLS is much more physical and probably made a little faster. But it doesn't mean you can't adapt, figure it out, and step up to the next step here. So it's just a rumor. But there is, but after we sign our number 9, I think we're pretty complete, and things are looking good. So what we need for Christmas is a number 9, and we don't need a number 9 because we're second in the East right now, or we're top of the East right now, right? We are. We're top of the East right now. So a number 9 is only going to make us even more top of the East. So. That's the New York Red Bulls
we're probably going to need a new number 9 because as we learned today, I mean, not that this is new information, but it seems like Tati really wants to leave, and then we'll need to replace him because Santi Rodriguez is not a finisher. Talis Magno maybe, but he seems to do well on the wing. I think we're going to need another midfielder. And
can I offer you Patrick Klimala?
No, thank you.
Take him. It's great. He's a polar superstar, like Adam.
No, thank you.
Robert Lewandowski. He's like the next Robert Lewandowski.
Definitely.
Anyway.
I watched El Tráfico on the television.
Thank you.
Which that was a fun game.
Tickets were $300. I could not get them. It was incredibly. A, El Tráfico's in demand, but B, there was all this hype about Bale and Chiellini, and none of them played. Bale wasn't even on the team sheet. He just came by and said hi afterwards.
He just got off the plane that day.
Yeah, he just got off the plane and said hi. But Chiellini was on the team sheet, and he didn't even come off the bench, right? They didn't even put him on. However, it was a good game, a good fought 3-2 victory for Steve Cherundolo, who is crushing it in MLS this year. He's running a tight ship over there.
We'll see how this goes with all the extra. There's already some unhappiness, right? Latif Blessing feels no longer important. You know, Izzy.
Well, they are going to have. They
have a little bit of a surplus.
They just got rid of Mark Anthony Kaye to Toronto. Mm-hmm. So that's another story. Toronto is transferring
He was
up.
coming from Colorado, though. He wasn't.
Oh, was
coming
he?
From LAFC.
Oh, you're right. Mark Anthony Kaye went to Colorado for
Kellen Acosta. Yeah.
Sorry. See, I'm a little out of the loop here. But yeah, LAFC's got to unload some of their players. Because Gareth Bale and Giorgio Chiellini aren't needed. They're those signings that are like, they're available. Let's make it happen. LAFC had a deep roster and they were top of the table. They don't need Chiellini and Bale.
Give us Izzy Tajuri Shradi back. We'll take him back.
Maybe he'll go.
Could use him off the bench.
You had that special connection on the field when you said "Mach's gut."
Right.
You said "Dankeschön."
Schöner Pass.
Schöner Pass. You had the special connection.
We saw him at the CCL.
CONCACAF. Yeah. It was nice. He took us out for drinks afterwards. Bought us dinner. Real cool dude. Joking. He just said hi.
No, he didn't, because you gave him one of your pre-printed cards, and he was like,
"Call me."
I don't do that.
Call me, and remember, name, location, and photo for my memory. And approximate date and time would be great, too. There's plenty of players who need a home, and LAFC's got a little bit of a surplus, so grab it. Toronto FC, hopping over to Toronto. Toronto FC, day one of the transfer window, 5 things. They already got rid of Pozuelo. They're going to get rid of Carlos Salcedo, the next international. They got Mark Anthony Kaye. They signed Lorenzo Insigne's finally there in town. And I think there was something else they were getting rid of. Like they're making some moves. Like Bob Bradley is renovating that team. The Toronto FC
it's a long-term project, though. Their defense is poor.
Yeah, they have to wait for Michael Bradley to get a lot better.
Pozuelo didn't really fit, but like that's still weird. Like he was an MVP
He's a great player.
guy, yeah.
And Inter Miami, a good piece on them because they got him for a song. And how about this? Let's go back to LAFC for a second.
Yeah.
Did you see? So this is where our two worlds combined. Ernst Tanner, the great German sport director of Philadelphia Union, was interviewed in Kicker magazine in German. And in the interview, he said that he is very suspect of this Gareth Bale move and this Chiellini move to LAFC. Because Gareth Bale made $38 million a year in Real Madrid, and now he's a TAM player at LAFC for $1.6 million. And he's like, that doesn't seem right. There's something fishy about that. Shots fired by Philadelphia Union Sportdirektor Ernst Tanner.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough, right? It wouldn't be the first time that there's some kind of backroom deal. Maybe one of his relatives. Maybe one of his relatives got a position somewhere.
I heard rumors that the Zlatan deal, he was also a TAM guy, but Zlatan got paid $1 million every time he was on Kimmel. He was on Kimmel like 5 times, maybe even more. Like every media appearance, he got paid another $1 million. So there's also like a backdoor move, for Zlatan, by MLS, by a sponsor. I don't know. They know how they do it. They have their backdoor deals. Back in the day, Clint Mathis had to turn down the league forced Clint Mathis to turn down a Bayern München contract, and they paid him $1 million a year through Pepsi, which they were not allowed to do at the time because there were no DPs, and the max MLS salary was $300,000 a year. They do this stuff. So again, when they punish Inter Miami and give them fines, it's like, yo, he without sin cast the first stone, my friend. If the league is pulling this stuff off and LAFC is pulling off this Gareth Bale move, it's like, well, then why couldn't Inter Miami pull off this Blaise Matuidi move? So
because they were terrible.
Because they did it without the permission.
They were getting punished for being terrible, not for doing it, not for their ambition, but just for being bad at it.
But very good point by Ernst Tanner, and the LAFC is probably the most interesting storyline right now because will these two new big names be a disaster or will it make them better? I don't know.
I think there's gonna be some growing pains, but we'll see how it goes.
I am excited to see
a front three. The Galaxy.
Yeah, they had a tight game against LAFC. They had a very good game against Montreal last week. But overall, the fans are unhappy that they want
Greg
Chris Vanny
took the wrong striker off. He took Jovic off, and he really should have taken Chicharito off. And,
right.
we'll see.
Galaxy Circus continues. Landon Donovan heading to the Quakes. We'll see how that goes. Chicago Fire.
Some very surprising results, right, this weekend. Seattle loses to Portland
3-0.
3-0 at home. Atlanta loses to Austin. Hashtag Verde. They're for real, right? They're really doing well.
They beat, was it Houston or Dallas this week?
They beat Atlanta on the road 3-0.
Oh, Atlanta. Oh, and Joseph Martinez called out his team.
Martinez was had a meltdown.
He had something to say, and good on him. Good on DPs for calling out the other boys. Orlando beat Miami, not super surprising. Real Salt Lake and Colorado 2-2.
Houston
and Dallas 2-2.
Charlotte beat Nashville 4-1.
That's a big one.
Former NYCFC assistant Christian Latanzi is doing very, very well with Charlotte. They are really. I mean, we have to really credit where credit is due. I thought that team seemed like an absolute dumpster fire. The roster didn't make any sense to me. I thought they were going to be terrible. They have not been terrible. They've been quite good. So they deserve some credit there.
They're in a playoff position currently, and if you make the playoffs in your first year, it's a huge success.
Yeah,
because teams rarely make the playoffs. So good on them. Good on them. Good on you guys, Charlotte. Yeah, I guess egg is on my face. The U.S. women are playing the Mexican women right now.
Chicago thought they might win a game. They were up. They were wrong. Up 2-0 for a long time, and they thought they had something. And then
Shaqiri, come on, boy, let's do it. We're not getting anything from you, Shaqiri. Is it Shaqiri's fault? No, I don't think it is. Maybe partly, but at the end of the day, soccer is about 11 players on the field and about having a deep roster, and that's the thing. And I think Chicago needs to work on their roster a little more. They just don't have a lot of game maker guys. They don't have a lot of guys, like NYCFC and New York Red Bulls. They don't have all those great obscure team guys, those character guys that are there to fill in the numbers. And Chicago Fire, their struggles just continue, just as a franchise in general. They're the only team to have built a stadium and then move out of their stadium and go back into an empty football stadium as a source of improvement. So, Chicago, our hearts go out to you. What else do we have this weekend as far as scores go?
Well, there was other, all the games were crazy. Toronto couldn't beat San Jose. Houston had a lead, and then they got a late...
FC Dallas. With the debut of Ache.
They got the late equalizer. Houston did in the 11th minute of stoppage time.
Well, that was the big debut of Hector Herrera. A lot of exciting players coming in summertime. Chiellini, Bale, Insigne, but don't forget Hector Herrera. Don't forget Ache.
Yeah, he looked good.
He assisted that first goal pretty much. He set it up. He's a great get for Houston, and that's a good shot in the arm for Houston. So good on him for Houston getting those reinforcements. So we got Ache coming in here. Columbus Crew has an exciting young Colombian number 9. They paid a lot of money for coming in. Chicho, I believe, or Chucho or something. We'll see. So there's a lot of exciting things coming into MLS. NYCFC still needs a coach. They don't have a coach
unless we're sticking with Nick. I have now, after 4. Thank you for indulging my period of mourning for 4 or 5 weeks. I had to mourn the departure of Ronnie Dowd.
What are the stages of grief? What are the stages of grief? You had.
Tell me. Denial.
Denial is one of them. Let me Google it. Come on, Google machine. Stages. Of grief.
This also is not real. Like people. I know I had some occasion to research this not too long ago. The stages of grief it's not, people do it differently.
I think that's all. Just like the 5 love languages. Doesn't really matter. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. So denial, no, he's not going. Where's he going? You know where Tati Castellanos is probably going to end up? Standard Liège.
Oh, shut up. They're not going to pay $16 million for him. They don't have that kind of money.
$60 million? Who's going to pay $60 million for anyone? 16.
1-6.
Okay.
16.
That's more accurate. Okay.
Well, that's what the team wants.
Okay, so this is your denial phase. He's not going to Standard Liège.
There was I don't care where he goes. No, Tati this is different. Tati and Ronnie are different categories. There is, to some extent, as an MLS fan, you're kind of, it's part of the experience. And I'd rather have young players who then leave to go somewhere else than like over the hill players who just come to retire. So
100%.
I'm totally fine, and always happy to see people move on. It's always an individual thing. In the case of Jimmy Sands, I didn't think that was a good move for him. Still don't. In the case of Jack Harrison, of course, very exciting to watch him. Yangel Herrera, other players that moved on to bigger and better things. Wonderful. The coach in the middle of the season is always tough because is much harder to replace. And I also thought, Ronnie is here to stay. I don't know. He was doing stuff. We had some other.
No, just a mercenary.
And it was more upsetting, and then also just the way that the wheels came off so dramatically and immediately.
So in Brazil,
we heard a little bit behind the scenes of Tati saying that he wanted to go in the winter, and Ronnie really talked him into staying and said like, "Oh, we could really win the Champions League."
And then he left. And then he left.
And then he left. I mean, this has to be tough. Has to be tough for anyone. But yeah, Tati, and also we heard some things Tati was saying, and Santiago Rodriguez were interviewed, and they were saying, it's just, it's like, and it wasn't said as a knock on Cushing, or they were like, it's a new coach and we're trying to figure it out. It's like, this is always what happened. Transition's never smooth. It's never like, the assistant takes over and there's no big deal. It's always a big deal. There's always a disruption. Right. In the past, it's always been 6 months. It always takes almost a half a season to figure it out. So, anyway, I'm through all the stages. I was depressed. I was angry. And
bargaining.
Now,
whatever that means.
Bargaining.
How did you bargain? Yeah, how did you bargain? Tell me your bargaining phase. That's the third phase.
Bargaining. In this case, I don't know if I went through
bargaining would be like Nick Cushing's fine. He was a head women's coach.
If Ronnie comes back, if Ronnie comes back, I will stop drinking. I don't know, that kind of
thing. No, I think bargaining is bargaining with the whole concept of it happening. It's like, it's good that he's gone because Nick Cushing is probably the better manager. I think that's maybe bargaining. Maybe, yeah. Right.
Yeah, Anyway, it's I feel now more accepting of
in Brazil when people leave, because people leave Brazil all the time. The fans, because they got real hardcore fans down there, go to the airports and stuff and yell when they leave. They're going on their flights and yell "Mercenario, mercenario, mercenario," which means mercenary. Like you're just in it for the paycheck, man. Which everybody's just in it for the paycheck. Just in life.
No, I mean,
not even just in soccer, just in life. But like, so it's just funny how people are like, "You broke our hearts." It's like it's just a job, and they have to get as much money as they can in a short amount of time.
Well, and the fans, the player, everybody comes and goes. The fans are the only ones who stick around.
We are the stewards of the club, 100%.
Yeah. And so that's what it is. It's fine. I am now just looking forward. It's interesting. It'll be interesting.
I have a pitch for you. I have a pitch for you. What if Landon Donovan was your next head coach? What if he started coaching you guys next week? How'd you feel about that?
I don't think so.
So you'd be okay with Wayne Rooney, but not Landon Donovan?
Yeah.
Why? They both have equally underwhelming minor league coaching.
He just seems. Landon Donovan just to me.
Choose your words carefully. U.S. fans are listening. I know what you're saying. He's softy. He's a softy.
His focus waxes and wanes.
True. Yeah. He's also a soft. He's not like a hardcore disciplinarian, right?
That's okay. I don't mind that. It's not that. I'm not. That's not my problem. I don't believe Landon Donovan is going to have a successful coaching career.
Maybe he'll be a Galaxy coach at some point. Maybe he'll be the Galaxy.
Yeah, probably. He's going to get a turn, I'm sure. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm curious. All right, and then Steve, I'm surprised how well Steve Trundle is doing. So good on him.
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Are there any other things on your mind as far as Fußball, American,
I think we have
German,
it.
and Europa?
I think we did it. A very relaxed and shortish show today. I like it.
Next time we talk, the New York Red Bulls and NYCFC will have played.
Oh
right?
Yeah, I am completely not getting too worked up about that.
You'll be there.
I'm going to be
send
there.
me photos. And then I believe,
there, but my expectations are low. I'm going to expect to lose. I'm definitely going to support the team, of course, but I don't think it's going to go well.
We'll see. I don't know what to. Like I said, New York Red Bulls are in great shape. They're doing well, but they don't really have a number 9 right now. So, it's got tie written all over it.
We'll see. Maybe
we'll see. But good luck. Good luck. And I hope the New York Red Bulls win. So anyway, all right. Tschüss. Bis nächste Woche. Peace. Schnitzel boys out. Tell your friends. Tell your family. You guys aren't telling your family in the shows. Tell your family. Tschüss.